right. We have some dogs barking in the background. That must mean it's a new episode of Your Daily Scrum.
I don't know what's going on. They just started barking like crazy.
I hit play and they start barking. It's the Your Daily Scrum, the show all about helping you get better at Scrum just a little bit each and every day. I'm professional Scrum trainer Ryan Ripley. That's professional Scrum trainer Todd Miller. We're the co-authors of Fixing Your Scrum, Practical Solutions to Common Scrum Problems. We run Agile for Humans, the premier Agile Scrum Kanban training organization. Check out the description for more about all that stuff. Todd, today you've teed up an interesting conversation for us. How the Scrum team shows up. I mean, I didn't even get the grammar right. How does
the Scrum team show up to the Daily Scrum? Yeah. This continues our series. We really were thinking a lot about collaboration and how we could best bring up some of these issues that we oftentimes see with collaboration in Scrum teams and outside of the Scrum team. And so, we talked about sprint planning yesterday. Today's Daily Scrum, right? So Daily Scrum, 15-minute event in Scrum held every day. Where developers get together and inspect progress towards a sprint goal and adapt a plan for the next 24 hours. But Perfect. There is more to it than that, right? What are some of the ways that these accountabilities show up? We have all three accountabilities, product owner, Scrum Master, and developers here, and we're going to talk about them.
Yeah, so let's start with product owner. Not required. So the product owner may attend as a developer if they are actively working on sprint backlog items.
Yeah.
Cool. Scrum Master, not required. May attend as a developer if they are actively working on sprint backlog items. One exception here, Todd, that I think we should bring up. They can facilitate, especially for a newer team, if requested by the developers. So they can provide facilitation for the event.
I like it. I'm adding it. So developers. Todd, I'm actually going to say another thing here. Must make sure it happens.
Yeah. But not required to attend. So Scrum Masters, you are not a required attendee of the Daily Scrum. Product owners, you are not a required attendee of the Daily Scrum. That brings us to the developers.
Let's talk about those developers.
Yeah. So the developers, where are we with the sprint goal? So one of the key inspection and adaptation portions of the Daily Scrum is taking a look at our sprint goal. Are we making progress? A lot of that discussion will happen around the sprint backlog, right? How's work progressing? Is anything stuck? You might actually bring item aging into it. We're going to discuss issues on why things aren't moving. It's a really thorough inspection and adaptation of the sprint backlog and our progress towards the sprint goal. And we're going to develop a plan for the next 24 hours. And people will say, well, what does that plan look like? It's a collaboration plan. How are we going to work together? So Todd and I, we're going to pair up on some programming. He's a better tester in a certain area of the code base. He's going to help me out and share some knowledge. In the afternoon, we're going to hook up with two other developers who are working in a different area. We're going to get everything integrated and hopefully have a good increment ready that meets the definition of done in the next day or two. We're planning out our interactions. We're planning out how we're going to collectively as a team move the ball down the field on how we're going to make further progress on the sprint goal. We're optimizing our chances of making progress on our sprint goal over the next 24 hours. We're also going to talk about impediments, what's hurting us, what's slowing us down, what could prevent delivery. And we might engage our Scrum Master immediately following the Daily Scrum if any of those things come up.
Yeah, another thing that we might engage is our product owner if there is some questions. So if we discover in here, maybe we're inspecting our sprint backlog, or maybe there's some weird things happening with our progress towards the sprint goal, we might decide to trigger a conversation with the product owner after this event. Yep. Ultimately, though, we're looking for a plan for the next 24 hours. And, how many times do we hear, Ryan? But we talk about these things all day, every day. Great. You should. This is not the only time that developers talk. Yep. However, when you're talking about these things, you tend not to talk about them as a group of developers.
Right.
So let's just get together. It takes 15 minutes or less. Most teams that really are humming, 15 minutes is a long time. They get together. They're talking about progress towards the sprint goal. They may be looking at things like work item age and look at their pool policies if they have a definition of workflow and things like that. But let's just get together and figure it out together. What's our plan for the next 24 hours? It doesn't have to be totally formal. You don't have to use 3 questions, right?
Keeps everybody aligned. We all know who's pairing up, who's mobbing, who's working on what. There's no excuse not to be in the know. Just keep in mind, this is not a status meeting. We're not collecting status. We're not building status reports. And this is not a problem-solving meeting. We're not solutioning. We are just looking at a plan on how to collaborate and make progress towards the sprint goal over the next 24 hours. Immediately following the daily scrum, just as Todd said, you can do all of those other really great things. Engage the product owner, engage the scrum master, go find a whiteboard and draw some solutions. And some great things can work out after our 15-minute time box has expired. One other thing, it is not the daily. It is not the daily. It is not called the daily. It is not called a stand-up. It is the Daily Scrum, one of the 5 Scrum events. And we hope you found this breakdown useful. Let us know in the comments, right, Todd?
Yeah. Hit us up in the comments. Let us know what's happening. Maybe even have some more insights or thoughts around how your developers, if you're a developer working on a team, what's happening with your daily scrums.
Yeah, let us know. Be sure to like and subscribe. You don't want to miss any of these videos. Todd's got a really cool agenda and a setup for these videos. You don't want to miss a single one. We've got some more Fixing Your Agile coaching coming your way too. So like and subscribe so you never miss a video. Check out the socials. We do a lot of stuff on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We're still figuring out Instagram. It's been almost a year and we're not quite there. Some videos are going to pop up. We think you're going to like them. The YouTube AI does as well. For Todd Miller, I'm Ryan Ripley. Go forward, do some great things. Fix your daily scrum. If there's some anti-patterns cropping up that you might have noticed that we talked about today, and go forward, do some great things. We'll be back tomorrow with another Scrum event video. See you then.
See you.